I won't let you destroy Katla.
Dohyuk stood defiant. Aruga, the monstrous god, towered over him. His shadow swallowed Dohyuk whole. Fear threatened to consume him.
You dare defy me, mortal?
Aruga boomed, his voice like thunder. Dohyuk gripped his sword, its blade shimmering with an ethereal light.
I won't let you destroy Katla.
Aruga laughed, a sound that chilled Dohyuk to the bone. The god raised his hand, summoning dark energy. Aruga attacked with a ferocity that shook the heavens. Waves of dark energy crashed against Dohyuk, each one more powerful than the last. He deflected each attack, his movement swift and precise, a dance of survival against the onslaught. Every parry sent tremors through Dohyuk's body, the force of Aruga's power nearly overwhelming him. Aruga was relentless, his power immeasurable, a dark god with no mercy. Yet Dohyuk refused to yield. His resolve was unbreakable, his spirit unyielding. He had to protect his city, his people, the ones who depended on him for their safety. He rolled away from a blast of energy, narrowly escaping the destructive force. The ground cracked where he stood moments before, a testament to the power he faced. Dohyuk knew he couldn't withstand this assault for long. His strength was waning, his energy depleting. He needed a plan, and fast. Time was running out, and the fate of his city hung in the balance. His gaze darted around, searching for an opening, a weakness in Aruga's seemingly invincible defense. There had to be a way to defeat this god. Dohyuk's mind raced, formulating strategies, seeking any advantage. He recalled his training, the lessons learned from countless battles. He had faced impossible odds before and emerged victorious. Drawing on his inner strength, Dohyuk prepared for one final stand. This was his moment, his chance to turn the tide. With a fierce battle cry, he charged at Aruga, determined to protect his city and his people no matter the cost. Suddenly, a thought struck him. Aruga's power seemed to stem from the shadows that clung to him.
Heiyun,
Dohyuk yelled, his voice barely audible above the din of battle. Heiyun, his childhood friend and protector, stood on a nearby rooftop. She looked uncertain, her eyes wide with fear.
Dohyuk, I don't know if I can.
you have to try. Your light magic, it can banish the shadows.
Heiyun hesitated, then nodded, her eyes hardening with resolve. Heiyun closed her eyes. She raised her hands to the sky, and a blinding light erupted from her body. Dohyuk shielded his eyes. When the light subsided, Heiyun stood taller, her eyes glowing with a newfound power. She had always been strong, but this was different. This was the true potential of her magic, unleashed.
I can feel it. The light, it's so much stronger now.
Dohyuk grinned. It was working. Aruga roared in anger, his form flickering as Heiyun's light pushed back the shadows. The battlefield was a chaotic blend of light and darkness, each side vying for dominance. Now was their chance to turn the tide.
For Katla. The cry echoed through the battlefield, a rallying call for all who fought for freedom and justice.
Dohyuk shouted as he charged towards Aruga, his sword ablaze with blue energy. The blade hummed with power, illuminating the path ahead. Each step he took was filled with determination and courage. Heiyun channeled her power into Dohyuk, amplifying his strength. Her hands glowed with a radiant light, and she focused all her energy into this one moment, knowing the fate of their world depended on it. He felt an incredible surge of energy coursing through him. It was as if the very essence of the universe was flowing into his veins, giving him the strength of 100 warriors. He moved with a speed he never thought possible. The world around him seemed to slow down as he dashed forward, his movements a blur of blue light. Aruga, weakened but still formidable, swung his fist at Dohyuk. The force of the blow was immense, a testament to Aruga's remaining strength and fury. Dohyuk ducked and thrust his sword upwards. The blade pierced through the air with precision, aiming for the heart of darkness that Aruga embodied. This was their final stand, and they would not falter. The blade pierced Aruga's chest, the light from the sword spreading through the god's body like wildfire. A deafening roar ripped through the air as Aruga screamed in agony. The ground shook violently, then silence. Dohyuk lay on his back, his body aching, his ears ringing painfully. He looked up to see Aruga's form dissolving, consumed by the radiant light. The shadows that had cloaked the city were finally gone. As the first rays of dawn broke through the smoke and ash, a new day began to unfold over the war-torn land of Katla. The light pierced through the darkness, signaling the end of a long and brutal night. Dohyuk slowly rose to his feet, his body aching from the countless battles fought. Each movement was a reminder of the struggle they had endured. He looked around at the devastated city, his heart heavy with the weight of loss and destruction. The once vibrant streets were now reduced to rubble, a stark reminder of the price of freedom. Katla was in ruins, but it was free. He had done it. They had won. The sacrifices made were not in vain. Amidst the destruction there was a glimmer of hope, a sense of triumph that could not be extinguished. He looked over at Hyun, who was collapsed on the ground, exhausted but unharmed. Her bravery and strength had been a beacon of hope for them all. She had saved them all, her actions turning the tide of the battle. Without her, their victory would have been impossible. Dohyuk knew the road to rebuilding Katla would be long and arduous. The city lay in ruins, and the path to recovery would be fraught with challenges, but he was determined to see it through. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of victory. In this brief respite, he felt the weight of their achievement. They had overcome insurmountable odds. They had faced a god and emerged victorious. They were unbreakable. Together they would rebuild, stronger and more united than ever before. This was just the beginning of a new dawn for Katla.